how to make my homemade lemon drizzle loaf cake. A classic, the best, and it can't be beaten. Enjoy! Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where today I am making one of the most classic bakes on the planet, which is the lemon drizzle cake. This is the loaf version because for me it's the most iconic. Like, you go to a coffee shop, there's a lemon drizzle slice you can buy, and I absolutely adore it. It's my boyfriend's favorite, it's my dad's favorite, it's everybody's favorite. So we're gonna make my version of a lemon drizzle loaf cake. It's super easy and you're gonna love it. When it comes to a sponge like a lemon drizzle cake, it's really simple, and the basic sponge just consists of butter, sugar, flour and eggs, and of course you add the lemon in. But when it comes to the basic part of the sponge, it's all about equal ratios. So for example, in this recipe I use 5 medium eggs, but you might need to use 4, it depends on the size of the eggs. So you want to weigh them in their shells, and it may sound weird to weigh an egg in a shell, but once you have, say for example, 4 or 5 medium eggs weighs 252 grams, you then want to use 252 grams of the sugar, flour and butter. It just creates the perfect ratio for the perfect sponge, and it's super easy to mix together. Like any cake, beat your butter and sugar together, then add in your eggs and your flour and your lemon, beat until light and fluffy, and then pour into your tin and bake. Add your butter or baking spread to a bowl. Add your caster sugar to the bowl as well, and then beat these together until light and fluffy. So once your cake mix is ready, it will be nice and thick, and obviously your oven will be preheated at this point because you always bake into a preheated oven, but you need to grab your tin. So I thought this was the prime opportunity to talk about how £2 loaf tins are really annoying. So this is the £2 loaf tin that I use and recommend because of its size, and I'll link this in the description box below. But for one rule with loaf cakes is only ever fill your tin 2/3 full. And I say this because this tin is also sold as a £2 loaf tin, but in terms of volume, it's about half. And I don't know why they're so different, and I find it so annoying. So if you ever find that your loaf overflows, it's probably because your tin is too small. So go by the rule of 2/3 full, and if you have any spare mix, you can bake some cupcakes with the mixture, so it's not going to go to waste. But I'll link the one I use just in case you want to grab one, the one that I use and recommend. So now I've put my lemon drizzle loaf cake in the oven. I'm going to bake it for about 55 to 65 minutes, which does sound like a long time, but loaf cakes do just take that long. But whilst it's in the oven, I'm going to make the drizzle. It's a simple mix of lemon juice and caster sugar, and because I've used lemons to zest, I'm going to use the juice from these lemons. But say for example you didn't have any fresh lemons, you could use 2 teaspoons of lemon extract in your cake, and you can use bottled lemon juice for this bit if you prefer. But either way, you want equal measurements of lemon juice and caster sugar mixed together, because as soon as that cake comes out the oven, you pour it over and leave it to cool. So now that my loaf cake has cooled completely in the tin, we're ready to decorate. And because this is such a classic sponge, I went for a really basic decoration of a simple icing drizzle. I use icing sugar and lemon juice to wet it down, and then a sprinkle of lemon zest on top. And then of course, you can enjoy a giant slice of your lemon drizzle loaf cake however you want, as it is with custard. But you know, I don't blame you, you choose. Either way, this recipe is so easy to decorate, so easy to make, and you're going to enjoy it so much. So that is how you decorate and bake your homemade lemon drizzle loaf cake. Of course, like always, check out the recipe in the description box below. Leave any comments you fancy if you've got any questions. Check out the full blog post, and of course, subscribe and come back next time for another delicious